Hi, my name is Ricardo. I started this journey through CDCR in 1970. 48 years later.
Hey, my name is Calvin Johnson, and I began this trek in 2012. And here I am today, ARC member, productive member in society, trying to give back.
That's important right there. Take heed of that, because 1970 there was no productive members in society. We came in 1970. CDCR, which was CDC, really didn't have too much in place to help a man. There was no counselors, no programs, rehabilitative programs in effect, as compared to what my brother Calvin went through.
The R really helped me out a lot as far as the programming. For me, I took advantage of the heating, ventilation, air conditioning. That's not the job that I'm doing right now, but that's a foundation for me to go back to, which is good revenue and everything, if need be. As far as for yourself, outside of just interacting on the yard and lifting the weights and all the craziness, what did you do educational wise? Like, what did you guys do?
The things that were in place that were there for us to grow educationally, few people tried to take advantage of it. There was avenues of trades available, but not very many of us took advantage of it. We came in young. I know I came in as young, 20 years old. And when you come in, we all think we have all the answers, but we don't. We come in with a lot of fears, a lot of insecurities, and a lot of us as men, we don't like to admit that and face that we come in with fears. So a lot of the activities or the criminal-based activities that we do in prison are based on our fears, violence. I can remember coming through our RC in Chino, the guidance center in 1970. I was there in the reception center maybe 8 days before I beat up a man, pretty brutally, and that was to prove a point and to build my reputation in prison. But now that I look back at it, I realize that was based on fear. Here I was, a young kid in prison. You're worried about all these other older men around you, killers, people of violent nature. And so you want to make sure that everybody looks at you somewhat similar. We're doing things out of fear. We're doing things out of protection. Nothing's in place to tell us nothing different. We're young. We're immature. Our ability to think things through and really rationalize what's going on, we don't have that ability at that age. I was immature. I was wild. I got out of prison when I was 23, and I got out of prison worse than I went in. Because all I had is 3 years of honing my criminality and getting sicker within the disease of criminality. So when I stepped out in 1973, I stepped out to being a worse criminal than I was when I came in originally in 1970.
Wow, that's very interesting. So you went in he went in at age 20, and you got out at age 23, right?
Yes.
And then you reoffended when?
I reoffended 2 years later, 1975.
And you got out when?
I just got out.
And in total, how much time is that?
43 years.
Look at them, tell them that.
So 43 years, and that's what I mean. I got out more broken than I was when I went in. When I came back in 1975, I was broken. I was mad, angry at the world. If you're really ready for society and going to be part of society again as a law-abiding citizen, then why can't you be a law-abiding citizen within this society? A rule violation will infringe upon your freedom.
Yeah.
Will prevent you from getting a program.
Isn't that like a 5 or 3 year denial just alone?
Yeah, a 5-year denial, absolutely. You steal an apple, you walk out with an apple out of the chow hall, and that could cost you a 3-year denial there. As we grow and we start learning through our self-help and starting being aware of what's really going on in life, that a rule violation translates into, if you can't follow rules in prison, how can you follow the law on the street? And that's what we should talk about in self-help groups. Programming was really important for me. I first got involved in Narcotics Anonymous because I had a narcotics problem before. And then I got involved in the youth program, the Project Last Chance in Vacaville, and helping youth that were troubled youth that were brought in through the juvenile system. And so from that point, then a couple of milestones just propelled me into getting more involved and looking into self-help groups and helping other people, but really helping myself. As I helped someone else, I was helping myself. I was learning about myself more and more.
So when it came to family visitation, that was very, it was crazy. It was awesome. It was a mixture of, I had a mixture of emotions. I see my daughter for the first time while incarcerated. Yeah, it's a trip, but it's awesome. It's like a tease though, because they leave, you know?
I was married twice.
Look at you, Rolling Stone. Nah.
What Calvin was talking about, that joy that you feel at that moment, when it's over, the visit is over, the pain and the hurt takes over. You know, you go back to your cell and you realize what you've lost and who you've hurt by what you've done. You know, my son grew up seeing me in different administrative segregation situations, shackled up because I was gang banging and being crazy to start off with when I started my journey. And this is what I gave my son a view his father as. You know, my mother, I got to see her a few times before she died of cancer, so I have to live with that tragedy and the memory of the pains that I went through. I think that's what a lot of men and women go through. You know, the joy of seeing their family and embracing that life again for that moment is good, but it only lasts for a minute. Mm-hmm. You know, then you got to come back and face the reality of what you've done wrong and how you not only hurt yourself but everybody else you've hurt in society, starting with your family. You know, so visitation is important because you keep connected. You know, so you know, I hope every man and woman that behind the wall, they have someone to see them, because it's important. Because it's like we talk about that light at the end of the tunnel, that hope. So when your family comes and sees you and wants you to come home, then maybe that makes you want to be better, want to do good.
So for the guys that are in reception, there's still programs that you could partake in. There's things that you could do and volunteer, as far as like working in the kitchen or even just cleaning up the tier. You could be a porter, you know. See the guys, the runners, right? How about that? It's crazy. Yeah, and for the guys that are on the main line, GP, whatever your status, if you could work, you should work. If you are an able-bodied man or woman, you should work. I highly suggest that you work. It builds your confidence. Like I said, you learn things that you didn't know that you were able to do. And even whenever you visit your family, you can tell them about all the really cool things that you're doing. Send money home, cool stuff like that, and provide is another way. For the guys that are in the hole, me personally, I know personally about being in the hole, and my whole experience of being in the hole after having gotten a 602 and stuff like that, I was writing songs, bro. I was doing music. Like, you know, the acoustics was so perfect. I started doing a song, and ironically, the song that I wrote and finished in the hole was the one that got me chosen for the Met, you know? While in that situation, while in that confined space of me and God, you know, and just looking at my situation, bro. So I just want to encourage the brothers, like, bro, I went to New York based off a song that I made in the hole. So imagine what you could do. So there's just a little bit of hope, and man, just continue to just ponder and think about what you can do, and just try to be willing to take risks. I know that in the past, the term being a square was like, they had a saying like, there's no squares in my circle. Like, you know, we all hard and we all street, whatever, you know. But honestly, for me, that image of a square is actually something that I am starting to harness a lot more and embrace a lot more. And yeah, and it's nothing wrong with being a square and going to the library, reading a book, going to church. There's nothing wrong with secluding yourself away from things that are not a part of your destination. So I just want to encourage all y'all, it's all right to be educated. It's all right to speak proper. For the brothers out there, it's all right to speak proper, even though they say you might sound like a white boy. It's good. Like, it's going to help you out in the workforce and other arenas too. So yeah, I'm living proof.
The ray of hope is there for everybody. You know, I really encourage men and women to get involved in self-help groups. You know, there's so many things available that were never available for me when I was young, but they're available now, and you can really look into yourself and really find who you really are. if you can start off right from the beginning in the reception center and grab onto something right away, I highly recommend that. You know, we didn't have them opportunities when I first started. Do I want to be the same person I was when I came in, or do I want to be a different person, a better person? If I want to be a better person for my mother, for my family, for my children, for my wife, then I need to start doing something from the day one, not wait till 3, 4, 5 years down the road after I do a whole bunch of stupid stuff in prison and decide, well, maybe I need to change something now. Well, change it from the beginning. Start now. You made that mistake, you're here. Don't make that mistake define you, because that mistake doesn't define who you are. You define who you are. So change it and become who you really want to be. You know, Calvin decided to change his, and look, he took his music and took it to another step. Went to New York, and that's beautiful stuff.
God is good, bro.
I see it all the time with men out here, you know, doing things different, other opportunities, job opportunities out here they never thought they'd do before. You know, it's time now. Change is now.